Hello, welcome to my channel. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and join me in future readings and a few other things I have planned for this channel. Right, on to chapter 5 of Endgame, which, as you know, isn't a standalone story. It is at the back as a bonus story of The Chosen Ones. But if you haven't got a copy of The Chosen Ones anymore, you can stay tuned and listen to this every day this week if you can put up with me making a few mistakes and doing a very bad West Country accent. Actually, maybe I won't even do that. So, chapter 5, Monday. Robyn patted Tom's hand, a friendly gesture he barely acknowledged. They'd pieced together very little, and without the expertise of her team, they'd continue to stab in the dark. Tom agreed with her assessment of the situation, and she made the call to the station. Anna, we've got a situation. D.I. Shearer's son, Brandon, has disappeared without trace. Miss Purrs are onto it. However, time might be of the essence, and if you're able, I'd like you to lend some support to tracking the lad down. Yeah, sure. The others aren't back yet. What do you need me to do? Well, firstly, keep quiet about it, apart from telling the team when they get back. I don't want the whole station knowing what's going on regarding D.I. Shearer's personal life, which means say nothing to DCI Flint or to anyone not on our team. I'm emailing you a list of Brandon's social media sites. Could you get into the accounts and report any strange activity or anything that might indicate where he went Saturday evening? I've no doubt his friends have already been contacted, but I'll send you a list and want you to ring them again. From what we've gathered, he was partying most of last week, but we don't know where he went Saturday evening. He didn't go out with anyone from his shared house. Anna was a tech whiz and was the best person for this. On it. Is D.I. Shearer at the station? He's taken the day off. She glanced at Tom, who nodded an affirmation. Ring me as soon as you get any information. She hung up. We should go to Brandon's digs and see what we can ascertain. Thanks. He rubbed a hand across his chin. I've no idea what could have happened to him, and this has made me realise something else. I hardly know my own son. What an utterly shit father I've been. Look, now's not the time for self-flagellation. She hunted in her bag for the pills the hospital had given her for the pain and palmed a couple, taking them with the remnants of a now cold mug of tea. Come on, you'll have to drive. She didn't ring Ross until they'd almost reached Stoke-on-Trent. Rather than give him a chance to speak first and blurt out any discoveries he might have made about Hassan, she brought him promptly up to speed. You're ignoring Doctor's instructions, then? Listen, this is important. Tom's really concerned, and Brandon's been missing since Saturday night. I'll rest up when we've located him. He lowered his voice. You must think something serious has happened to the boy if you're helping Shearer find his son. Unless that fall you had did something to your brain. This is Shearer, remember? The man most likely to stab you in the back. She checked to make sure Shearer hadn't heard the jibe. His eyes were fixed on the road, his jaw set. Ross, something doesn't add up, and we have to find Brandon. There was a sigh. Okay, I was on my way back to you anyway. I'll give you a hand. What can I do? She turned to Tom. Ross wants to help out. A flicker of appreciation lit his blue eyes. Could he talk to Ellie and Mark? Ross, that'd be great. Can you speak to Tom's ex, Ellie, and her husband Mark? Find out if everything was rosy at home or if there were any issues. She ignored the dismayed look Tom threw her. Make sure we know as much as possible about him. Children of all ages can be notoriously secretive. I've done this before, Robyn. Many, many times. I know what to ask and what to look for. What's the address? Robyn relayed it to him. We're just pulling up outside his rented accommodation. I'll catch you later. The house stood in a street of identical, nondescript brown brick houses, opposite its mirror image with brown-framed windows and blinds. The only difference, a V for the A sticker in the window, promoting compassionate vegan living. Tom squared his shoulders. You were right. Kids do keep things from parents. He was out of the car before she could respond, and she hastened to join him, grimacing as she swung her legs out. A clean-shaven young man with wavy blonde hair that appeared to be glued to the very top of his head answered the door. In a crisp white t-shirt and green and blue check trousers, he resembled a male model rather than any student Robyn had come across. She lifted up her ID. Hi. We'd like to talk to you about Brandon. We were hoping you'd be able to give us an idea of what he was up to the night he went missing. He shuffled backwards, a smooth movement that made Robyn reconsider her first impression. He was more like a dancer. Come in. They found themselves in a hallway, empty apart from 2 bicycles propped against the banister. "What's your name?" asked Tom. "Richie, Hunter. I told the officer who came round everything I know." "I'm Brandon's dad. I'd appreciate it if you could tell me too." Nonplussed, the young man halted, his mouth opening then closing again. He led them into a tidy kitchen, where a well-used table and 4 assorted chairs filled the functional space. Richie dropped onto a blue wooden chair, pushed away a plate bearing a half-eaten sandwich, and rubbed a hand over his face. "I don't know where Brandon went on Saturday. He'd been on a bender for 3 or 4 days and was out most of the week. The others who live here left last Wednesday, but Brandon and I stayed on for a few extra days. Our rent is paid up until the end of June, so there was little point in heading off too soon. On Friday, we both hit the town, got completely hammered and ended up at a house party in Hanley. I left round 4 in the morning, but Brandon didn't return until late Saturday afternoon. I heard him showering. The bathroom's next to my room. He was hammering out Shawn Mendes, "There's nothing holding me back." Badly. He's tone deaf. "Did you not see him at all?" "No, I was with a friend, Stu. We stayed in my room until about 8, and then we went out for something to eat." "Have you any idea where he might have gone?" He shook his head. "Last I saw of him was at the party on Friday. He was hanging out with a girl. I've seen her about on campus." "Could you describe her?" His face screwed up in concentration. "Not too well. Shorter than me, pretty face, and she had pink hair." "Can't recall anything else?" He shook his head. "Where was this party?" Robyn took down the address. "How's Brandon been?" asked Tom. "Has he been depressed at all?" "Only about term coming to an end. He wasn't looking forward to working all summer for his stepdad." "I'm going to ask you something, and I need a completely honest answer," said Tom. "Did Brandon do drugs?" Richie lowered his gaze. It was answer enough. "I'm not judging him, Richie, or even mad at him. I need to know so I can try and work out what's happened to him. Maybe he's simply out of it somewhere." The sincerity in his tone made the boy look up. "Yeah, Brandon's a party animal. He takes stuff." What especially?" "Mostly ease, some coke, nothing heavy." Tom gave him a small smile. "Thank you. Listen, would your friend Stu be able to give us any more information? The one who stayed over?" "I doubt it. We met at the party. He was down to help his sister move her stuff back home to Edinburgh. They left this morning. He doesn't know Brandon." "Okay. Thanks for your help." "Mr. Shearer, I hope you find him. I feel really bad for not checking on him." Tom gave a sharp nod and stood up. "Is his room unlocked?" "Sure. Want to take a look? It's the first one on the left." Tom bounded lightly upstairs, Robyn following more slowly, painfully aware of fresh throbbing in her joints. The curtains were still closed and the room stuffy. Filtered light fell across a jumble of clothes scattered on an unmade bed, and as her eyes grew accustomed to the semi-darkness, she spotted folders and books stacked on the floor next to a large rucksack. She checked the empty shelves, the wash bag on the bedside table. Brandon had been preparing to pack up for the summer. Tom tugged at desk drawers, flicked through contents before shaking his head. "Nothing." Robyn made for the wardrobe, felt coat pockets and pulled out an empty cigarette packet. "I didn't know he smoked," said Tom, with another sad shake of his head. "Fags, drugs, booze. What else was he into?" He was beginning to lose focus, and she had to take the lead. "Look, there's nothing here to help us find him. We ought to try the house in Hanley. Come on." On the short drive to Hanley, she looked up the song Brandon had been singing. Listening to the upbeat track, it sounded as if Brandon had been looking forward to going out that night, and therefore unlikely to have taken his own life. She shared her thoughts with Tom, who rewarded her with a small smile. "Thanks. I really needed to hear that. My mind is all over the place."